Hey, I'm Walt, and I'm here with another reaction video. In this one, I found this video on TikTok from Tom Money Maze. All right, they're going to ask him a series of things that he could or could not spend his money on. What's your thoughts on it? Is it worth it or is it not? We're going to watch the video. I'm going to tell you whether I agree or disagree. So let's get to it.
Worth it or not worth it? Private school.
Yes, you're buying the network, not the education.
Accountant?
Yes, 100% worth it. And find a good one. I call those unicorns.
Rolex? Worth it or not worth it?
Not worth it. I'm not going to chase status.
How about supercar? Worth it or not worth it?
Not worth it. Same thing. It's going to depreciate the moment you drive that thing off the lot.
All right, first two, private school, accountant, if they make sense. All right, private school, you always want to make sure that if you have children, you set them up to have the best ability to succeed in the future. And in America, the best way to do that is with a great education. Now, this is where I will push back on the private school thing. If you're going to make certain that you're going to be putting your kids in private school, all right, like, some kids go to private school from the time they start school to the time they graduate senior year in high school. That's great. But do those kids a service. Make sure that you have some type of fund or money set aside to also assist with paying for college, all right? Because at the end of the day, so many kids go through private school their whole life just to go to school and then leave school with back breaking debt. All right. Now, the accountant part, let's say only if it makes sense. Once again, if you have a business and your personal finances, it's probably better to take it to an accountant, someone that knows what they're doing, that can get you your best tax breaks and, make sure that they can relieve you of some of your tax burden. All right. Now, if you are more than capable of doing so, you feel more comfortable, go ahead and do so. But I can agree with the accountant. All right. Now, the Rolex and the supercars, I think you can get them, right? Hey, if myself, when it comes to a Rolex, right, I get currently $1,000 a month from dividend income, passive income, right? If I hit a certain goal and I say, you know what, I want to take X amount of dollars every quarter for that year and put it to the side to treat myself to a nice watch, a Rolex, I absolutely would do so, right? At some point, everything isn't about does it appreciate in value. At some point, everything isn't about, chasing status. The man wearing a nice suit, I don't necessarily care about suits like that. I could say that he's chasing status by wearing that suit. So when you get to a certain point where you've put in the sweat, when you've delayed the gratification, when you put a plan into action, you made it work, I don't see anything wrong with getting something nice, right? Now, don't go overboard with it. Don't go and get a whole collection of watches when you don't have the money set aside to pay for them. And that's the other thing. You want to make sure when it's coming with a supercar, a nice watch, that you should be able to pay for it cash, right? Because it's not a necessity, it is a want. So I know that some people say, oh, well, instead of buying that car and outright, you could finance it and then put the difference into the market, you make more money. Yeah, that sounds good, but I adamantly disagree. You don't need a supercar. It is a luxury item, meaning that I can afford it, meaning I can pay for it outright. If I can't pay for it outright, then I don't need to have it because it's not something I need. If I needed a car, then I can go ahead and finance a car that is $25,000, $30,000, right? If I needed a car. So let's go ahead and see what else he has to say.
Second homes.
For me, that's not worth it. I mean, let's face it, you're going to have twice the expense, and also, how often are you going to be using it?
Worth it or not worth it? Life coach.
Get a dog instead. They'll make you happier, and they're so worth it. Show gauge.
Housekeeper. Worth it or not worth it?
Worth it, 100%. That time alone is going to save you a lot.
First class.
100% worth it. I want you to arrive relaxed and in shape instead of broken. I want you to enjoy your vacation instead of recovering from it.
Personal.
Okay. So I'll say this. Housekeeper, I'll say this. Once again, if it makes sense. If you're a business owner and you want to say once a month you want to pay a cleaning service $200-300 to come in and clean, knowing that $200 or $300, putting that time into your business, you'll be able to make double that or 3 times that. Absolutely makes sense, right? Absolutely. But if you're in the process of building your wealth or building your business, absolutely not. It never makes sense to go ahead and hire a housekeeper to clean your home when you're not, whatever effort you're doing is not tangibly showing you that is making a return. All right? No. I would say that most people probably are not in a stage where it makes sense financially to be hiring a housekeeper. So I really disagree with them on that one. First class, once again, that's a luxury. All right, like shit, vacations are luxuries. You know, if you can't afford it, you don't get it. You know, first class can cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. Once again, if you're not already at a certain point financially, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, a life coach, that's a little tricky, right? A life coach, in my opinion, could be a lot of different things, right? You can go to a life coach for financial advice. You can go to a therapist, could be looked at as a life coach. So I think that it has to make sense for you. You know, I'm pro therapy. You know, if it makes sense for you, if you need to talk to somebody, if you need to work through something, you know, that is no different to me than going to see a doctor for a physical ailment. So if that life coach may fall into the guise of a therapist, absolutely. Now, if it's just somebody to guide you through, you know, your finances or your business, I would probably say unless you already put that money aside just for that, you know, session or two, you probably don't want to be spending that type of money because those things can cost you quite a bit, you know, because once again, it is a luxury to talk to somebody about your business, right? You should already be making a certain amount of money to justify hiring somebody to give you insight on how to grow that business or how to navigate through your life, all right? But a therapist, most of the times, you can go ahead and work through your insurance carrier and they'll provide you options. So definitely therapist, yes. Life coach, luxury.
Trainer. Worth it or not worth it?
100% worth it. Make sure they're also a nutritionist. After all, your health is going to keep you in shape. I want you to learn how to train, eat, and take care of yourself.
Estate planner. Worth it or not worth it?
100% worth it. Get your wills and your estate done. Doesn't matter how old you are. You never know when that bus is going to hit you.
And lastly, custom suits. Worth it or not worth it?
Worth it, 100%. Always be the best dressed person in the room. You never get a second chance at a first impression.
All right, so I'm gonna go backwards. Custom suits. Once again, if you like custom suits, you can afford them, have a blast. But don't fall into that no shit. Fake it till you make it, dress for your success, all right? Now, if you're going to a job interview or if you're going to a certain work environment where it calls for you to dress for the occasion, yes, you might have to wear, you know, suits. You don't have to wear a custom suit because the fact of the matter is this, right? The notion of the millionaire next door. A lot of these people, they dress humbly. They just wear what they like, what they feel comfortable with, you know, and they are worth and generate more income in a lot of instances than that person that got the $1,000 suit on, the $2,000 suit on. So at the end of the day, I'm not so big on dressing to impress other people. I think that once you get to a certain point of financial success, you dress for how you feel comfortable. You dress for your freedom. That's the whole point of the money, is to have the freedom. And a part of freedom to me is to be able to dress and express yourself the way you feel comfortable. All right. Now, as far as the personal trainer, once again, I think that is a luxury. I think that even with the nutritional thing, there are so many other avenues that you can use for free. You can go on Google AI and ask them to what your goals are. If you want to lose a certain amount of weight, if you want to gain a certain amount of muscle, whatever you want to do, and you can ask them to give you a whole workout plan and a nutritional plan to go with it. And if you got any dietary needs or anything that you can't eat, you can plug all that in, right? And they'll give you all of that stuff. So to me, once again, that personal trainer is a luxury. Now, estate planning, you got to have an estate to plan for, right? So once you get to a certain point financially, it is definitely worth making sure that all of your financials is buttoned up and it makes sense for you to do it. All right. If you just have a house, do you really necessarily need an estate planner? Probably not. All right. But if you got other assets that are worth a significant amount of money, absolutely. And the last thing, I'm gonna double a little further back when he talked about the second home, and he said no. I once again, I think I'm a little bit against that, because let's say that you have business that you do in one state and then you frequently travel back and forth to another, right? I think that once again, if you can afford it, buying a second home, maybe even Airbnb-ing it out, and then when you know that you need to be out that place, make sure that it's available for you. I think it can definitely be worth the money, but it just has to make sense. So I definitely think a second home can definitely be not only a necessity, but it can be an asset under the right circumstances. All right, so I'm Walt. Please please subscribe. If you want to find out my financial journey, how I grow my wealth and generate my passive income, look at my videos. And if you got any questions, leave them below and I will definitely answer them.